All right, what is going on, Banter fan? Welcome into today's edition, Thursday's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and today we are going to be diving deep into the crypto gaming markets. And today I want to get into the sectors of the crypto gaming market, the market cap range that I think is going to have the maximum gains if we are to go into a bullish market. If we turn to a crypto gaming bull run, like we have seen back in October, November. If we see these projects going up, I'm going to show you the market cap ranges and the projects that I think are going to do the most gains in this market, but also show you how to execute and take profits in those whenever they do start pumping, because you don't want to be holding a $15 million market cap on the way down. So I'm going to show you how to strategically enter and exit some of these projects potentially, where you need to be looking as well. I give you a little strategy, and we have a couple of news bits on some projects as well. Without further ado, let's get in the game.
15 seconds, guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, I'm financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you don't play, but ain't no sense. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. Crypto Banter, I'm financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you don't play, but ain't a play. If you get lost, show you the way.
All right, let's get into it. And I just wanted to cover real quick. We talked about Pegaxy yesterday on the channel, and in the last 24 hours, we have a nice 27% bounce. And that's just too undervalued still, in my opinion. $13 million market cap. And we actually look at the numbers of players who are actually transacting on chain within the Pegaxy game. You have 24,000 users in the last 30 days, transaction volumes upward of $24.8 million inside the Pegaxy game. And they are coming out with a lot of different developments. So still criminally underrated based on the activity and the player base that's going down in Pegaxy. And also Metagods, we've recently talked about, doing really well this week. It's up another 20% today. But also want to just point you to another source of alpha. So obviously I have the live show here 5 days a week, but there are endless alpha drops on the cryptobanter.com website. And today we did just drop this article, 5 gaming altcoins leading the recovery. And if you want a little bit of extra tidbits and extra information, this is definitely where to get it. We talked about Ultra, Vulcan Forged, Defina Finance, and some other projects here that I really do think have really good rebound potential based on where they are right now in price and market cap, given all the developments that these projects have. So if you want a little extra alpha, cryptobanter.com, check this out. You'll get all the information on these types of projects and potentially some extra content that I might not have dropped in the show. And I want to cover Vulcan Forged, and it seems like a recurring theme, but it's development every single day. Like ever since this hack, they have been foot on the gas in terms of developments. We can confirm that the Elysium testnet, which is their carbon neutral blockchain that they are putting out for their games, the lava powered NFT blockchain, is going to launch their testnet on January 31st. It's dedicated to the games and metaverse projects, 8 confirmed already. And the blockchain will have initiatives. So there'll be trees planted in Spain, Greece, and South Africa from the volume and the usage of the blockchain. They'll also have Vulcan Forged nodes coming soon. So this is going to be amazing, guys, in my opinion. Like Vulcan Forged, despite the hack, everything they have done in the rebound just speaks for itself. They are developing something very special here. And you also take a look at the use cases behind lava. So if you're playing the Vulcan Forged games, you want a strong economy. You want to make sure that if you're going to get involved and put your money into it, that the stable earnings are there. Like if you look at SLP for Axie, or if you look at it's THC for Theta and RENA, you would see that those coins charts really start dipping because of the sell pressure, the inflationary aspects, etc. But here, as you see the lava token, which is the earnings token in the Vulcan Forge universe, you're going to see limited daily generation, over 50 use cases to be able to put back into the economy. So a lot of problems are the in-game earning economy. Sometimes when you have a 2-token economy, they don't make the second token as useful. So you need to have a use case for that earnings token to incentivize players to maybe not cash it out and sell it every time they earn. Maybe actually put it back into the economy. And it's also paired with PYR at the Vulcan Dex. And I think this speaks for itself too, guys. They just put their marketplace and exchanges back online after the hack. And after they did this, you see the numbers here. They're 14th in the NFT marketplace rankings, 46th in exchanges, and top 70 in terms of their 2 games. Weekly growth of 340% from DApp Radar. So really, really good trends here for Vulcan Forged. And you just take a look. It is one of my most bullish projects on the rebound, as you saw in the article. And we've talked about this project multiple times. And I haven't really like showed you like what they're building. And if you go into Vulcanverse, you can kind of start seeing this stuff. But the scenery in Vulcanverse looks absolutely fantastic. They're really building something special. And I'm excited for this project in the future, and just criminally undervalued when you still look at this chart. And we have started that Vulcan rebound. I think the bottom was safely about that $10 range. So very, very good price action from Vulcan Forged, and more so just very good developments from Vulcan Forged. Another project I just want to highlight really quickly is Superfarm. So Superfarm has been quiet recently. They came out with that high-rise Creature Club drop, as everyone knows. Very good drop, and they've had a couple of drops here on the Superfarm platform, and they're partnered with Immutable X, a low-gas NFT marketplace solution in the future. And I think people are kind of underestimating the potential of what they are building here at Superfarm. When you kind of take a look at the marketplace here of Superfarm, it basically looks like an NFT competitor of OpenSea. And when you take a look at the trends right now, guys, we've had all these different types of airdrops coming through, and these projects are all claiming to be the OpenSea solution, or they want to be the next OpenSea. So for example, you have a project like this one, Looks Rare. They just did a big airdrop this week for people who traded like 3 ETH in NFT volume. But they're trying to be, let's just say, a marketplace, right? They have all these NFTs for sale. They're trying to be an OpenSea competitor. When in reality, I actually think a low gas, like high transaction speed solution like Superfarm on Immutable X could potentially be that decentralized like competitor to OpenSea. OpenSea has insane volume daily. When you just take a look at the daily volume here of OpenSea, $151 million transacted in the last 24 hours. Even if, obviously, it's going to be very, very hard to knock off the one that everyone is so used to using. It's #1 in marketplace here, as you see. But in my opinion, Superfarm has a definite market to come in here and maybe compete. And as Alex says here, Superfarm's going to get huge whenever they release what they are building in NFTs. Look at the hype around Looks Rare, which I just showed you their website, their marketplace that just did an airdrop. Not pooping on that, but Super's thing is it on roids, and it's already on Coinbase. And then you just take a look at the price chart. The price chart still has a lot of value. And the market cap fluctuations back here are a little, like the market cap was different back here than it is today, obviously. But you're looking at a $450 million market cap for a project that's looking to literally be a OpenSea competitor. Not to mention, guys, they're building the Imposters game. The Imposters game is an online multiplayer social deduction game. So if you know what a social deduction game is, think about Among Us. So if you're a gamer and you were around during the Among Us craze in 2020, the daily active players on Among Us, the social deductive game that was a massive hit on Twitch for months, daily active players peaked at 60 million players in October 2020. Imagine a blockchain solution, right? So it's the game like there's 2 people that are imposters and they're kind of killing off people in the social, and you're in a group, you're talking about this person did it or it's that person. Among Us was a massive hit. If this comes to the blockchain successfully and they incorporate a social aspect to it, I think this could be absolutely huge for Imposters. It's a proven formula that really caught on in the Web 2 world. Add in a social aspect in the gaming world, the Web 3 world. I think that Imposters really has a lane to run and a niche that's very unique. You don't see other games going for that Among Us type of feel, and they had a ton of success with that game. So in my opinion, I think that they can potentially be that marketplace that does start to give a little bit of problems to OpenSea if the low gas with IMX does come to fruition and this thing does transact at a very good rate. So we will see the NFT marketplace when it rolls out here, but I think it's going to be amazing. All right, guys, let's get into the bulk of the show. And I want to talk about the projects, in my opinion, the market cap ranges that you're going to be able to find the maximum gains if we are to go into some sort of a bull market, a gaming bull run, if we see some more kickoff from the metaverse narrative, if more corporations start getting involved in metaverse. We saw what Facebook did, the meta pump back in October in Q4. So we will see what these projects do whenever more developments and big time top tier corporations and companies get involved in the metaverse throughout the year. But I want to go over some projects that I think are going to have the biggest run up potential. And I think that this market cap range is going to be the range that has the most gains. So first is Guild of Guardians, fantasy action RPG, mobile game, iOS and Android, right on the start whenever this thing launches. It is powered by Immutable X. They have 150,000 pre-registered players, and it's built by Stepico, who has built multiple successful games at a $40 million market cap with no private or seed round unlocks for 12 months from TGE. So the token generation event for Guild of Guardians was in December 2021. There will be no private or seed sale unlocks until December 2022. That is extremely bullish, in my opinion. They're backed by Immutable, Ubisoft, NRG Esports, Yield Guild Games. And if you don't know, Guild of Guardians is trying to be an esports game. They want to actually have a Web3 scene in their game for esports, a competition to where teams like NRG, the ninth biggest esports organization in the world, NRG Esports, could potentially have a esports team in the Web3 world of Guild of Guardians. This game definitely just looks very polished. It is a majority mobile game. You will be able to play it on your PC. But in my opinion, this is one of the most bullish projects on the entirety of crypto gaming landscape. And I think at a $40 million market cap, this has a lot of room to run. Same here with Senate for Sidus. And guys, I'm going to cover the Senate token because this is the token you should be looking at. The Sidus token has done really well as well, but it is a higher market cap and it's the earnings token. So eventually people are going to have a lot of sell pressure on the Sidus token. If you're looking at the Senate token, which is the actual governance token of this project, $20 million market cap, and the fully diluted just fell below $1 billion. But when you take a look at Sidus Heroes, the earnings token, $64 million and 3.5 billion fully diluted. So in my opinion, the Senate token has really good potential to do some numbers here at the market cap that it's sitting at when you consider this is the governance token for Sidus's game. And if you don't know, Sidus Hero, space MMO RPG, the game looks completely polished. The graphics are awesome. In my opinion, this is being overlooked strictly because this is the token that is going to have the less sell pressure. This is the governance token. So in my opinion, the Senate token is very undervalued for what they are building. MonkeyBall, $30 million market cap. This is potentially going to be the biggest game launch on Solana this year. Like the NFT volume for MonkeyBall has been very solid. MonkeyBall just partnered with Eternity Chain too, to I think for their next furthering of their NFT drops, potentially to different chains and different audiences. And they actually just had a Twitter Spaces today about that, which was very solid. And the vision for this game is awesome, guys. It's like FIFA Street, turn-based soccer, very good scope. And there are a lack of sports games on the blockchain. There's not like a FIFA, there's not a NBA 2K or a Madden on the blockchain. So when MonkeyBall comes out and they give you a turn-based soccer game, you can actually go in and compete in a game that is very international. Like it has a huge market. Football or soccer is popular everywhere. Everyone knows about soccer. So in my opinion, MonkeyBall has a massive market appeal at a $30 million market cap. I think that this does still have a ton of room to go, especially when you're looking at where it just was. If we go into a bull run, you're going to see this and more, in my opinion, especially just based off of what they are building. Sipher, another one. This is a combat style game that is also building an open world social experience. And I think that Sipher just looks absolutely amazing. And I think when you just look at everything considered, this game is going to be massive. Their NFTs did really well on the sale. As you see, ambitious, casual fighting and exploration game. $35 million market cap here for a project that has developments right around the corner. And one thing about this token, you'll see very low volume, very low volume. And you look at the exchanges that it's on, it's really only on Uniswap. So if you have your hands on this token and then it gets a listing on Gate.io, it gets a listing on KuCoin maybe down the line when this game gets closer to launch, when this game gets a little more traction in the public eye. I think that Sipher has a lot of potential here at a $35 million market cap, all things considered. The fact that it holds this level of a market cap and this level of support with that little of volume, give Sipher a couple of listings, and I think this goes way north. And then Decimated, guys. Decimated is going to be it's like the third-person shooter, the best third-person shooter on Solana, in my opinion. The graphics look amazing, $19 million market cap, and it's kind of rebounding this week, but the price action has really had a stale level here around 45 cents. Every time it touches 45, 46 cents, it really dips. I think that this level here is safely an entry point for Decimated. If you're looking to get involved in this game, $20 million market cap, the scope of what they're building is very, very solid. And if you look at the gameplay, we've talked about Decimated here on the channel, very, very good game. And I think Pegaxy, as mentioned, very beginning of the show, $13 million market cap versus 24,000 active users per month, $25 million in transactions with in NFT volume with transactions of 662,000. So a total of 660,000 transactions inside of this game in 1 month. $25 million of NFT volume in 1 month. You're taking a look at a horse racing game that is similar to the scope of DeRace. And DeRace, guys, is a $100 million plus market cap. And I absolutely love DeRace. But when you look at a game that is already active, same niche, with the best rental system in all of crypto games, you can literally buy your asset and lend them out to a scholar within 5 minutes. So this game right here is being completely overlooked for what's happening inside the economy. And these are the type of games that I think if we go into a bull market, the ones with players actively involved in transacting and developing, like this is the future of their game that we just watched. That is their 3D app that they will be releasing very, very soon. And they're coming out with their stadium cells. So you're going to be able to host races at your stadium potentially. I just think everything that they're building here is amazing. And it's too much to ignore with the player base in the game, the scholars playing the game. It's one thing for the game to have people just milking the earnings, but there are scholars trying to earn their living in this game. They're utilizing multiple horses under different guilds, and they are trying to make their earnings within the Pegaxy economy. So when a game has a good scholarship economy, that's a really big deal. And Pegaxy is basically the undervalued DeRace. And I just want to show, I love DeRace. It is one of my favorite projects out there. It's a $100 million market cap. And the game is more or less, it's very similar. Now, I think DeRace will have more features potentially down the line. And with their backing and their team, I do think it is rightfully so the bigger project. But with the active economy inside of Pegaxy, I definitely think that it is something to consider at the market cap. I think it's too much to ignore. Defina Finance as well. It's coming back down to a little bit of a reasonable level here after pumping up insanely last night. But you just take a look at this chart here. We've seen Defina Finance reach $9. This is on my top 5 for the rebound of crypto games. So if you're getting in on a chart like this, first of all, you know that this thing has maximum pump potential in a bull market. As we saw here, it almost hit $10. This is a game with active players. You take a look at Defina, 7,000 monthly active users, almost 1 million in monthly transacted volume. And the game's been out a couple months. So the initial hype's kind of settling. This player base that's still playing this game, this is kind of what's sticking around to play the game. So you can safely estimate about 7,000 monthly users, 43,000 on-chain transactions, and 900,000 in volume in just 30 days on this game, which all in all is a $13 million market cap. I think that this is vastly undervalued. Not to mention, guys, this is a very bullish factor in my opinion. You take a look at yesterday's update, they are pausing token vesting for 3 months. I've never seen a project do that, to be completely honest. And I think that that's going to be great for the growth of the price, the growth of the market cap. And they're trying to strengthen their economy. So they want the earnings for the FINA token to be a little more lucrative for their players. This is going to give a potential price bump over the next 3 months if the market does trend up. And we see Defina Finance keeping up that player traction. This seed and private equity vesting pause could potentially send this price very north. because they were having active token unlocks. Now they're putting their vesting on pause for 3 months. Very bullish indicator, in my opinion, for a game that has active users. Metagods as well is doing very well. They're building basically the pixelated RPG dungeon crawler style game. I really love what they're putting together here. The backers behind the project are fantastic as well. Pomp Investments, you have Banter Capital, you have a bunch of different backers and advisors like Alex Becker, who are going to be making sure that this project hits the nail on the head and gets all the boxes checked for a quality project. And they have a lot of different features inside of the game, like the generative art NFTs you can buy, the RPG gameplay. They have staking. They have a social GameFi element here where you get rewarded for being social and when you're being rewarded for being active in the economy. So a lot of these games, guys, are super low market cap, $14 million market cap. And one thing I need to preach is how to play these projects, right? These are the areas you want to enter a project that is a market cap like this. You don't want to enter up here. You don't want to enter up here. If it's doing this, you're too late. And you don't want to buy here, and then you're writing down a $12 million market cap on the way down. So what do? You read the market sentiment. So when you look at the entirety of the crypto market, well, today, Bitcoin's down, but Bitcoin's definitely been rallying as of this week. And let me just refresh that because that just threw everything off. So Bitcoin's been rallying this week. Everything kind of corrected back to the upside. We had good CPI news. So a lot of good things really came out this week to push the price of crypto up. But as you're seeing in the 7-day, projects like Bitcoin, for example, are down 1% still. But you take a look at crypto games. You have crypto games. Solus is a Solana metaverse. It's up 300%. You have Metagods up 130%. Galaxy Fight Club, which we have talked about on this channel, up 118%. Gaming is leading the way, 50%. Like these gains right here are where you want to be positioned when the market was just where it was. So everyone's thinking market's going bearish, market's doing this and that. We shouldn't be buying anything. Really, if you're looking at the exterior factors and the things that could send crypto back up, like the news that came out the other day, you're looking at a lot of projects with active player bases or a lot of hype behind them that are really bottoming out, right? I mean, you have projects like Sipher. This is a new launch, and it was above $1. Now it's about 89 cents. You have a project like MonkeyBall that was almost $3. You have a lot of these games and these projects that have previously been at much higher levels. And when you're looking at charts to buy into, you have to remember the value you're trying to buy into. And I just think when you're looking at charts that are gaming, small cap coins, you are definitely looking to buy something that looks like this whenever the market starts trending upward. So it's just an FYI. You need to be taking profits on these small cap coins. These small cap coins, you do not want to ride the hill down on a $12 million market cap. That is just not what you want to be doing. It does not matter if you're married to a project. That's not good either. You don't want to just be like, this game's going to be great in 5 years, so I'm just going to hold it all the way down. It's not the mentality. If you're caught holding the bag on a project with market caps like this, that's not a generally good thing. So make sure you're having an entry and exit plan. That's really the premise. I cannot tell people when to take profits. I cannot tell people when to enter projects. I can only give you the keys and the strategies to plan it for yourself, have an entry and exit plan, and how to source projects that have value today to enter. And then another project, $20 million market cap. If you don't want to invest in a game, you want a multifaceted utility platform, I would go with Spintop, $24 million market cap. Their biggest unlock ever already occurred, and they bought back a ton of tokens, they burned a ton of tokens in response to their biggest token unlock that will ever occur. They took no VC funding, so the only dump potential in the future off that fully diluted market cap would be launchpad and stuff like that, because they did not take traditional VC funds. They already have their Gamepedia live. They're going to have a DEX. They're going to have a lot more on this project that, in my opinion, is just an all-encompassing gaming platform. If you take a look at this right here versus a project like IGN.com, this is the IGN right here of the blockchain. Let's just go to reviews, and you have movie reviews, you have game reviews, you have a bunch of different stuff on this platform that is entertainment review style. This basically is the one-stop shop for gaming reviews on the internet. So when you go to play to earn games, There needs to be a solution for that because IGN isn't going to implement that into their platform. So you have a project like the Gamepedia here, which sorts out all these games, and players are actively reviewing these games. So very, very good project, $24 million market cap. I think it has a lot of potential. And then let's talk about Warena. I actually haven't talked about Warena on this channel. And in 5 days, the 2D version of their game does release. This is a $7 million market cap project, a little over $100 million on the fully diluted. But you take a look at the chart, this thing was $6 at the heart of the bull run. $6. But as I said, you cannot ride a market cap like this all the way down. So it is going to be a steep fall. If you're buying up here and you're riding it down, it's going to be a steep, steep fall. But this project has a lot going for it, guys. Backed by Animoca Brands and Illuvium, they're building a cross IP 2D survival game. And then they're also going to have their Metaverse 3D game. So in their 3D game, you're going to actually be able to bring in characters from other universes like Axie Infinity, My DeFi Pet, Cat Gunner, Illuvium, stuff like that. As you see here, we can take a look. The 2D play to earn game is coming out in Q1, and the 3D cross metaverse game is coming out in Q2. I think this is a super undervalued project, guys. Crossover characters, as you see, Illuvium and Cat Gunner, personalized NFT characters, and easy to play with a low entry cost. And if you go to their game, 5 days, 18 hours until phase 1, their 2D survival action game does release. I think that that's a very, very bullish trend for a $7 million market cap that was already about $6 here at the heart of the bull run. I think that this has a ton of potential. That's a 6x from here, guys. That's a 6x from here, just being straight up, where it was versus where it is now. So you're buying this about 80% down, almost a little over 80% down from its all-time highs, for a game that looks pretty good. Like the project that they are building does look fantastic. And I just want to kind of show, here's the beta testing for the 2D game. Very simple gameplay, but it is something to play. It's something to get to work and start earning. And it is a survival game, so it's going to be very action-packed. And I think that the 3D metaverse too is going to be phenomenal. I'll fast forward to the gameplay here. So you have your team, you're defending and trying to survive. Very simple game, but this gives their audience a project to start playing now. And you also see the 3D cross metaverse, their progress on the 3D cross metaverse, voxel style characters, which is a big time hit when you look at projects like voxels or voxies, and you take a look at Sandbox. I think that this has tons of appeal and it just looks super clean. This will be a hit in my opinion. And when you can bring your characters from Axie Infinity or from Illuvium over to this world, I just think that that is something that has a ton of appeal. Just like Galaxy Fight Club, when you can bring your CryptoPunks or your CyberKongs into their universe and fight against each other characters in other metaverses or NFT projects. Same kind of concept here. If you have alluvial characters, you own some alluvials, you'll be able to bring them into this world and potentially battle it out in their 3D Warena metaverse. $7 million market cap, guys. I think that's just a little too low for a project of this scope. And the team Brightstar is very successful. This is the next project. I'm absolutely losing my mind. But yeah, no, the team behind Warena is very solid. And you can take a look at the development at the very bottom. You can see the development team here working diligently on the game. And it looks very sharp. And you just like to see these behind the scenes looks. A lot of these projects, sometimes you don't even know if they're building a game, right? They release a token and they say metaverse and game. So you want to see these types of things right here. You see the team working on the project. Absolutely love it. So this project, I think, will do really well in their first stage of their game launches here in a little over 5 days. So I'll bring that to you here on the show and kind of give you a gameplay review and how that plays out. Last thing I want to talk about, guys, is Ember Sword. This is a project that is not out yet. This is an upcoming game, and it is a free-to-play MMORPG open world style game. It is a player-driven community. And I want to read this because anyone who's creating an NFT game definitely has the vision of NFT asset ownership. They know what play to earn brings to the table for the players. So let's see. At Brightstar Studios, the team behind this game, they're gamers at heart. And right from the early days of MMORPGs, such as, let's just say, RuneScape, we've all been captivated by the vast universes these games provide us. But currently, these games and digital universes are fully controlled by centralized groups of developers who retain ownership of every part of the world and the digital items. And we talk about this all the time on the channel, the utility behind in-game assets. While benefiting the game developer, this old system doesn't create an engaging player-controlled universe, and it enables the game developers to reap all the profits of any in-game markets where cosmetics are sold to players. And how much profits are these gaming companies making, you ask? The global microtransaction market for 2020 to 2021 was an estimated of $35 billion, a compound growth rate of 4% in the microtransaction market. And if you don't know what a microtransaction is, it's you being inside a game and buying a skin in Fortnite or buying a weapon camo in Call of Duty Warzone, for example. So when you see this amount of transactions that these Web 2 companies are really prying over hand over fist from their customers, major players in that market are Riot Games, who produce a ton of top tier games, Activision Blizzard, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, stuff like that, EA. So inside of like games like Madden and FIFA, when you are buying like your Ultimate Team cards or your assets, that is a micro transaction. And it consists of the sale of in-game virtual goods and related services. So when you just look at that, compared to the backlash of the public, NFTs are nonsense, environmentally destructive, and silly. There's no part of NFTs that's remotely interesting for games. Specifically, the technology does not do anything for the game and its players. Like, what are you reading whenever you're reading someone who just has absolutely no clue how big in-game asset ownership is going to be? But Ember Sword gets it. And you take a look at their game, it just looks absolutely amazing. It's an open world sandbox economy. And this is the trailer. It's like the pre-alpha footage. It's a little bit of gameplay footage, but it's more of a cinematic trailer style, kind of showing the world. And I'll show you a little bit of gameplay. But this game right here is going to be huge. And what I like most about it is they're taking the big time approach. So as we've talked about, big time, you're not going to be able to buy their token and actually earn it that way. You have to go inside the game and earn the token. So inside of Ember Sword, they are actually making it not pay to win. So no asset is going to give you like a strength advantage. It's going to be like a skin. So like your rarity of your sword is going to be based off of appearance and not based off of performance, which is the best mechanic. There should never be something where someone who simply has more money than you can buy and overpower you inside of these games. And here's the actual gameplay, guys. The game looks super swift. The action, you can go fishing in this world. You can build in this world. There's so much you can do inside of Ember Sword. This is a project I'm really looking forward to whenever it does eventually drop. And they're doing like land sales. They haven't had their token launch yet. This is a project I definitely have my eyes on for the future. And they just get it. They're on that big time level of ideology when it comes to the in-game economy and not enabling players to just buy in and dominate the ones who maybe don't have the capital to get involved at that level. And not to mention, we've talked about Immutable X games a ton. Immutable X has tons of quality launches. They are going to have Illuvium. They're going to have Guild of Guardians. They already have Gods Unchained. Well, Ember Sword and Immutable X have partnered as well as an exciting step for the future of Ember Sword to continue to scale smoothly and reach the next stage of their journey. So all in all, Ember Sword is one to put on your watch list. I've told you for the future, that list of games, right? The Sin Cities, the Phantom Galaxies, the Big Times, the Heroes of Mavia. Ember Sword is firmly on that list, guys. So if you have that list of upcoming launches, upcoming games to have on your horizons, Ember Sword is firmly on that list. And that is going to do it for the content for today's show, guys. I wanted to go over that middle cap range of projects that I think are going to do the most gains if we do trend up into a gaming style bull run like we saw at the end of Q4. I think that these gaming projects are definitely at value buys when you look at the market cap, you look at the charts. So I wanted to give you a little bit of strategy of how to enter and exit some of these projects. Like I said, I cannot hold your hand the whole time, but I can always teach you how to fish, which in the long term is exactly what we're here for, to educate and put more tools in your tool belt. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want more in the game every single day. And it helps us get the show out in front of new viewers just like yourself. So we really appreciate it. I will catch y'all on tomorrow's show, guys. Without further ado, play well, my friends.